interplay of the chip landscape, the TV landscape, the astral landscape, and the chemical landscape, which because of digital technology has shrunk those landscapes to a very tiny level in relation to what appears to be our physical bodies. That shrinking creates the chip body. I mean by body something smaller than the landscape. The landscape is something, for example, in the 30s, when Hitler could use radio and the public address system just to swamp personal, literate and illiterate people into an oppressive tribal drum. We don't get that effect from media anymore, but we do get the effect of the interplay of these landscapes, which have shrunk to the chip body. So the chip landscape becomes shrunk to a chip body. That's your little appendage. That's the little nose ring you've got. The TV landscape shrinks to the TV body, which is your tattoo, symbolized by your tattoo. The astral body shrinks to a level where you make sure you do some religious rituals, whether it's taking ayahuasca or going to a moon ceremony or going to church every day as what we call a fundamentalist Christian. That's the way the shrinking of the astral body is manifested. And the chemical body landscape has shrunk to this little apparatus that is subject to extreme sports, to all kinds of abuse, socially and personally. These four bodies, though, as the unknown factor of what we're made up of, what I call the mystery landscape, not quite the mystery body up to this point. It's still a landscape. We haven't figured out its dimensions. We can't say it's become user-friendly and I can attach it to my elbow. The mystery landscape, though, has been unfolding in the Android meme as the image of President Obama. And it's the mystery landscape that is actually the hidden ground now. So when the mystery landscape subsumes the chip body, the astral body, the chemical body, the TV body, we have the synesthesia, not of our senses, but the mixing and synesthesia of these realms, of these landscapes come bodies. And in that synesthesia, what is interesting, what happens to the astral landscape, which is a term for the area we go to when we die. If you believe we go somewhere else when we die, and many cultures do believe that there's some kind of connection to when you live, when you die, when you pass on. I want to address the effect of this synesthesia of the realms on the astral landscape and how it's become an astral body, very personal. What has happened over the last 40 years? You could say it's happening over the last 100 years once we had the electric environment. But what's happened is there's been the thinning of the veil. I don't know if you're familiar with that phrase, but it means that there is more apparent access to the astral landscape than humans knew for a long time. Maybe way back, 10, 15, 20, 30,000 years ago, a million years ago, depending on when we started as human beings, there was a psychic interaction with the astral landscape, and that's why we see in what's called primitive religions the whole animism, the whole projection of your ancestors in the environment around you. That might have been the after image of that cultural effect. But anyways, whether it happened then or not, it definitely is happening now, and it's in a new context because we've got these other landscape bodies interacting with the astral landscape. It's almost like the astral landscape doesn't know where it is anymore, since people live on in media, and live on in media archives of themselves. The footage of Elvis Presley is recycled forever. The footage of your own birth is now on your MySpace page. So you have this regeneration of your own self-image through modern digital electric media. Remember, when printing press came in 500 years ago, people were astounded that they could write something and it would be printed and that people would read it, they thought, for 1,000 years. It was a way of projecting a secular immortality. That was just with the printing press, and only a few people became famous authors who enjoyed that. But now that is long considered puny compared to the fame we can generate for ourselves just in the terms of recording that, recording what we do. All these kids growing up now where their parents have taped everything they've done, and they can look at it at 8 years old or 10 years old or 15 or 100. And this is affecting our image of what is permanence of ourself, of our personality, and that we don't generally have access to the astral landscape. And so we only have images of what it should be, all the cultures. But what is remarkable today is that the astral landscape is leaking through, and we can realize what was always true, though we didn't seem to know it, at least on the mass mind level. We did not know that the astral plane is communicating with us. And the more we become aware that we can talk to it, and it wants to talk to us, it wants to co-create with us,